Welcome to Coffey Talk, real stories from real people. I'm your host, Kate Coffey Bacon, and every Monday we'll sit down for honest conversations about successes, failures, and the lessons we learn from both. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's talk. Welcome back to Coffey Talk. In this episode, we talk about why women should trust their experience and their own intelligence. Today's guest is someone whose passion for learning and sharing what she knows inspires me every time I connect with her. Jennifer Bonenfant, a powerhouse in the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central community. She teaches at industry events. She drives operational transparency. She solves complex processes, all by leaning into what she knows and the experiences she has had. She believes that knowledge isn't just nice to have, it's the foundation of success. She has a powerful message for all of us. The things you know, whether they are learned through experience, trial and error, or hours of study, can change the way teams work and the way that businesses can grow. I can't wait for you to hear how she's dismantling the old myth that intelligence should be toned down. Jennifer, welcome to Coffey Talk. Tell us a little bit about your career journey in the dynamic space.
Gosh, Kate, thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this. I have had a great career in the dynamic space. I actually started as an accountant in the space, and I went to University of Virginia that needed some transformation back in about 2000. And this product had just come over to the United States called Navision, and we implemented it and was an early adopter. It was a pretty bold move at a big place by a young accountant, but it was great. And the results of that transformed that operation. They're still using Business Central. And it was an amazing 10 or 15 years developing and transforming that operation.
So in the past, in some of our previous conversations, you've said that women are often taught explicitly or implicitly that being smart isn't desirable. I feel like we need some sound effects there, like maybe a dun 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 or something. But where have you seen that play out in your own life, in your own career?
Gosh, that's a great question. So full transparency, I happen to be Gen X, so I was raised in the time of making my own mixtapes and no seatbelts, right? So it was a different world and a different time then at that point. And I am a mom of a daughter now at the University of Tennessee. So seeing the evolution from girls can't do math to where we are now with all this STEAM and STEM, and even girls that code across our different schools and opportunities for our young women and young students. It's great to see that. Hasn't always been that way for some of us, but I think that seeing the evolution and especially for the younger women joining the channel, it's been great and definitely a road hard fought, but really exciting to see the new faces and women joining our technology users and our teams.
So I want to take a little side because we have to take pause because we both have daughters at the University of Tennessee. And what would we be? Who would we be if we didn't say go Vols? So
Go Vols!
Having a daughter especially and modeling that transformation in the way that we as women are seen and in the business world, in our professional life, and for our girls to see that and be inspired by that. I mean, I'm thankful that my daughter won't ever know or experience some of the things that I might have in my earlier career. So what helped you to break through that mindset or maybe that old way of thinking and embrace your intelligence and use it as a motivator?
When I went off to school, I didn't have anything to fall back on. And so I knew that if I learned something and became very good at it, I would have a job, period. It was that simple. I went to Stetson University, and their hardest business major at that time was accounting. That was the hardest. There was a 50% fail rate the first year. There were less than 15 of us left at the end standing. And so it was very difficult. But I knew that I was learning something that would advance my opportunities and create a path for me to go down. And so back in my early 20s, I had the wisdom to learn something, to know something, and that would add value to whatever I went to or whatever path I went on. So I picked accounting and I gritted it out. Some days were easier than others, but it was great. And it created a tremendous opportunity for me and my family. And it led me on this journey. I never would have imagined that I was in technology. And here I am today. And I'm really grateful for the opportunities that challenge and from knowing something and being able to do something enabled me to do. So you're right. I love to just set that example for my daughter and my other children in being able to be that strong person, be a leader in that area, and know something deeply, not just on the surface. So I think that's where we add value, and that's where our experiences can really shine through.
So you speak at lots of industry events. I've seen you speak numerous times. You always inspire me. In this business central world, you have said that knowledge is the foundation of every successful implementation. Can you share a time, an example, when what you knew might have made a difference for maybe one of your clients or for your team as a whole?
Every project, you learn something new. I just learned something new today. I had a customer that was like, hey, I want the same customer and my vendors to sync because my vendors and my families are all the same people. My constituents matter. I want to do business with them. And by doing business with them, I grow my business. I'm like, what do you mean? We never do that. You have a vendor number, a customer number. He's like, no, you're missing the point. I want to see the whole person. I thought, wow, that's really great. And of course, Business Central supported that. But I've had the advantage of working with a number of nonprofits across my career and in different institutions, and that knowing something had made a big difference during COVID and during Black Lives Matter. Twin Cities Catholic Charities was approached by the governor during the George Floyd situation to help pay rent, make food available, provide shelter. We took Business Central and were able to implement ACH and electronic payments almost immediately. We turned that around very quickly. The results were funding that became available to critical needs of those families in Minneapolis. It was amazing, but I knew how to do it. We did it quickly. It made a huge, profound impact on that community. People were able to be sheltered and have housing as a result of that. Amazing, right? And so that knowledge, being able to help turn a situation into a triumph, great. And that's a great example of being able to do that.
You just said something a second ago that you just learned something today. And I have told anyone that I may be mentoring or younger marketers that are coming up, I say, I have a marketing degree, but it's not worth the paper it's printed on the wall because marketing has changed so much. We're at a modern age of marketing now. So you have to constantly be learning and reading and evolving. And it's the same way with ERP. We have this golden age of technology ahead of us and we have to always be learning. And the fact that you just said that, you said, I just learned something today is, proof in the pudding of your growth mindset and that we are just always learning so that we can move our teams forward, move ourselves forward and be better.
Well, my husband and I had a conversation and thinking about this, Kate, and, we knock things around back and forth, maybe over a glass of wine or in the evening. And we were talking and he's like, knowledge takes you where you are today. It's the learning that takes you further, right? Constantly learning, evolving. Business Central isn't a static product. We move a lot of GP to BC customers and they're on old static products. Then there's no change for 3 years. I'm like, gosh, you can't hardly go 3 months without something new coming into Business Central, a new ISV or a new product or something new coming in to help you make your operation better. And so I love that evolution that happens natively in Business Central, natively across the community, being able to bring in great ISVs. It's just amazing what can happen with a little bit of curiosity and some knowledge.
Yeah. So we know lots of people that are doing really big, brilliant things in this space. If you were to give other women in tech a piece of advice in how to claim their expertise and show their value in a very tangible and real way, what would that piece of advice be?
Understand your voice and what you know, where you add value, right? you can't add value in every conversation or every situation. You just become noise. You don't want to be that person, right? You want to be the person that is that expert, the person that knows something, the person that people can go to for a specific thing. You know it deeply, right? I think about AI. AI is a fabulous tool. Copilot, couldn't live without it now, especially in preparing for different presentations and sessions with my customers and just different things during the day. But it broadens my knowledge, not just on the surface, because I think that's kind of what Copilot is, but it deepens that without all of the fluff, right? And all the other miscellaneous distractors sometimes we get when we just search for things. So I love that ability. So my guidance would be know something all the way down. Try it, do it, put your hands on it. It's the act of doing that will create the act of learning that will make you more powerful as a user. And I can tell you, I have done 1 million bank recs. I have done 1 million journal entries. I have done just about anything you can do in Business Central in real time. When you can do that and you've walked in that other person's shoes, you can create and build amazing things because you now have the knowledge and the capacity to help.
So I'm trying to I have all these questions I want to ask you, and I'm trying to put them into one big question. I love the example that you gave about, how you used your expertise in a split moment, and you made a change for a group of people that really needed it in Business Central. Can you tell me a time when you were maybe in a situation where you just it clicked and you were like, oh, I've got this. And you had it. You knew you had it. You knew that your experience, your expertise, the things that you had learned were going to aid you. Can you tell us about a time when you just went, you just trusted what you learned and you acted? I kind of put you on the spot with that
one. That's a big one, Kate. Wow. Holy cow.
There comes that moment for all of us when maybe that, I know I drop these really big questions sometimes because I'm just so curious, but there comes this time, I think, for all of us when that imposter syndrome or that fear of trusting yourself just is gone and you just know you have it. And that moment, I've had a few of those in the last year where I'm like, man, I've got this one. I have this story that backs this up and this experience, and I've learned this, and I've got this challenge. I can solve this challenge. Do you have an experience like that?
It actually is what kind of was the building block and foundation of me kind of transitioning into technology. So I was the CFO controller at a wonderful organization called Give Kids the World. We're located in Orlando, not far from where Summit is going to be here in a couple of weeks. But Give Kids the World provides cost-free vacations to families with children who have life-threatening illness. And we're in the middle of this huge construction process, building these huge gingerbread houses and cupcakes and crazy, crazy buildings. Just an amazing place. And all of a sudden, my accounting software went dead. I didn't have anybody to call. The company had gone under. I had one person that I had a phone number for, and he actually gave me the back end password for how to code. I didn't know how to do that, but I had he gave me one little line sentence and one password. I'm like, well, I guess I've got to figure this out. So I went in the back door of that software and I learned how to do it. I'm like, I think I've got this. I was able to kind of piece that together. We then implemented Solomon. I then got married and moved on to another university and then moved on to the University of Virginia, where I took all of that learning to have confidence enough to move forward with Navision at this really massive organization that needed new software. I knew I had it. I knew I had the confidence. I knew I could do it, and I did it. And we grew our operation from about 100 million on those early days in Navision to well over $2 billion. We captured every new piece of functionality that Microsoft could throw at it. And it was great. And I knew that I had it. And I knew that what we were building was really important and was making a difference. And so I would say that first little hiccup as a controller with a system that was on its last leg, I kind of bandaged up, gave me the confidence to move forward, to know what I was doing, to have the confidence to really have an impact at an organization that is very meaningful to a lot of people.
A lot of the conversations that I have with other industry professionals, women specifically, you, for example, a lot of the conversations that I have what I call little mentor moments in so many people where I'll explain something, a situation, and I get this little nugget of wisdom back and I just hold on to it and it really helps push me forward. For me, just that process of developing relationships and trusting my relationships and leaning into my relationships has helped me in the day-to-day learn to trust my own self and my own experiences. So I'm going to kind of turn that on you and ask you that question. What does it look like for you in the day to day for women to start trusting their experiences, maybe small habit changes or conversations? What do you think? What does that look like?
I think that looks like putting yourself in a community that challenges you, right? That
Mhm.
accepts you for where you've been and challenges you in ways that you couldn't expect, right? And puts you in opportunities or places you in opportunities where you have an opportunity to grow, right? It's not the same thing every day. I love being a member of the channel, right? The Microsoft channel and the Dynamics community. I think it's great to be able to pick up a call and talk to you, Kate, or see you at a conference. I think it's very rewarding and inspirational to know that there are and being a part of something much bigger than just myself and or just my career and the impact that I'm able to have. I would also say surrounding yourself with other leaders and people that
Mhm.
you inspire to be will make you one of those people that people inspire to be, right? So if you put yourself in those conversations, whether that's service on a board, service in your community, joining, I don't know, the Chamber of Commerce, speaking at events, putting yourself out there, taking the chance will
Yeah.
only yield great return, right? It only makes you a better professional, a better mentor, a better person, a better mom. It just enriches your life in so many ways. Put yourself out there with other people that you're inspired by, but
Mhm.
also that you would like to be with, right? Those people that maybe you don't even have anything in common with them, but you're serving on a board together, you're serving in a community together. Wow. That's when growth happens. And that's when real opportunity will present itself in ways you never could think possible.
I think you and we have a lot of things in common, but one of the things we have in common, we're both big volunteers. I serve on numerous boards across the channel and stepping into those roles and kind of living one of my pieces of professional advice is always give, don't grab. When you're stepping into any networking event or a new circle or something, to go into the event and think, what can I do as a service here instead of what do I want in return? So living that in the last couple of years and serving on boards and working with other professionals on a common goal, I think like that, I didn't realize it until this conversation, but that has been such a gain of experience for me in having conversations that may be outside of my expertise, having conversations with you. I mean, I'm not an accountant, Jennifer, not at all. I'm absolutely 100% a marketer. But even having conversations with you, those conversations help me to be more well-rounded and see things from a different point of view, maybe help me see my customers' pain point from a different point of view. So I think there's so much power in that. And I echo that advice, like get involved, find something outside of, the computer screen that you're looking at every day and get involved because there's so much to be said for the experience that comes from that. Bravo on that answer. That was a really, that one got me lit up. That was a great one. Wow, Jennifer, I thank you so much for sharing. This conversation is important. This conversation is important for us to have to encourage other women to not hide behind your intelligence, to step forward, to own it, to trust it. I am so thankful that you agreed to come on and spend a few minutes with the Coffee Talk community today. Thank you for sharing your time with us. So I will ask you to give me what's one last piece of advice that you may have for someone that may be listening to step out in boldness in what they know and what they're trying to gain.
The easy one, invest time in yourself. Make the time. It's important. You are valuable. You're a valuable human being. You're valuable to your team, to your
Mhm.
customers. Your expertise, whether you're just getting started or way far into your career, the value you add to your team is immeasurable. And it's important. And it's important for you to know that. And it may be important for someone to hear that today. Whatever you're doing, data migration, so boring, but it's critical to the success of a project. Critical. So the role that you play, do it to the best of your ability. Know how to do it. Understand it. Ask questions. Don't be afraid to push back and say, why are we doing it this way? Is there a better way? Look for that better way. You'll grow. And when you do, your knowledge will grow, your confidence will grow, your career will grow, and you'll only open doors. So don't be afraid. Invest in yourself.
Thank you for joining us, Jennifer. Until next time, embrace your intelligence, trust your expertise, and look for other areas and opportunities to grow. We'll see you next time.
Thanks, Kate. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for joining us today on Coffey Talk. A special thanks to my guests for sharing their story and to you, the listener, for being a part of this conversation. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a Monday morning chat. Until next time, I'm Kate Coffey Bacon, and this has been Coffey Talk.